Narcissia Netal. I can proudly say that I am a City of Lockport resident now, not just a town of Lockport. I live in the Genesee Street area now, and I have come to talk on that experience. I can now say I've also been homeless. For 6 days in the beginning of the month, I went homeless, and I wanted to share this experience with the council for the reasoning that as we talk about affordable housing and the aspect of the Bewley building, it is hard to forget that we talk about people. People live here. People live in these houses. People live in downtown Lockport. And I can say that being homeless is something that I'm rather surprised I'm grateful for. Surprising to say that. And I was only for 6 days, which is extremely lucky. Extremely. It's improbable you'll really get that. But it was because of this wonderful community too. And what I came to realize is that the resources we do have, because there are some good resources. They aren't great, they aren't where they need to be, but there are good resources. There is a communication crisis with these. People don't know about these. I luckily did, because I know way more than I really should on some things, especially when I try to help people out in the community. There is a communication crisis. So while we are helping with a homeless crisis or trying to manage this, we are not communicating what we have. And as many know how nonprofits work, how I've come to understand them in my time volunteering with the Recovery Cafe, they get funding depending on how many people use their service. So communication is a crisis here. If your services aren't being used, they're not going to be funded, then that messes over more people who could use it but don't know about it. Now, when we move to things like the Bewley building, we need these affordable housing. We need all of these affordable housing units we can get. We have these empty buildings. We should be utilizing them. And I think Pathstone clears a way where we can do that for Lockport. And as someone who just went homeless and has talked to many homeless people during that time, and even now, it would even help with the economy in a weird way. When I go to downtown, I did a couple of pop-ups recently, it was deader than usual. There's the boards up in the Bewley building, there's less traffic, and it's summer. There was more traffic down there in winter than summer. And the reason why is because, again, nobody can afford to live. There's no affordable housing as we go back to the Bewley building. And if we want to see a better Lockport economically, we also need to give people a place to live. Economics 101. If you have more money to spend, it goes back into the economy. If you have to spend it on living, it doesn't really help. You spend the extra you have, that kind of helps with commodifying, commercialism, all that kind of stuff, which can benefit a city through proper taxation, but that's something separate. Even when going homeless too, I can also say that we as a community need to realize we need to treat people nicer. There was a lot of nice experiences, but at the same time, there's a lot of negative ones. And kind of the summary of what I had, I want to leave with a quote before I go. I found this really good one. I had written out a brief speech and then decided it sucked. And I leave with a quote from former President Obama. "If a free society cannot help the many who is poor, it cannot save the few who are rich."